Greetings, Benjamin J from BENZTRAINZ with another in the series. Well, a follow-up on that Transition 999 that arrived today. As you see, I've touched up the paint, the missing paint anyway, and then gave it a light coat of oil, which is actually really starting to soak in now. And this has been stored someplace hot. There was a lot of mottling in this paint, and that usually signifies it's been stored someplace like an attic, someplace that was really hot. There was a minimum amount of rust on it. There was some light rusting on the push rod. You see, I've scraped that away and put a light coat of oil on it. But I've touched up the paint. It actually looks quite respectable considering it was 10 bucks, and it's 73 years old. Now, as you can see, the numbers are completely gone. This has had a lot of play wear, but there's no appreciable amount of damage to it at all. It's not bent, it's not dinged anywhere. There was a great big bend in this handrail, and I've just cursory straightened it out. I might have to replace it to actually get that straight. We'll see. Anyway, I replaced the missing top brush. The bottom brush is frightfully short. It's actually really surprising that this motor is running at all. It's less than 1/4 of an inch long. So I will pull the bottom brush out and replace that. I replaced the top one because it was missing completely. But other than that, I touched up the paint, and this thing is running just absolutely splendidly. So let me take this around. Now, I can't run it at 50% power. It'll derail. So there's 40% power, as you see. At 50%, this thing just takes off. Here's 50%. I got to be careful on these corners. So there's 50% power. I'll slow it back down going around this curve. So 45% is about as fast as I can run it. At 50% power, this thing just comes flying off the rail. Anyway, it is running just absolutely superbly. It has the original light bulb in it. There's no appreciable amount of damage to it at all. And it's unique. The reason I wanted this, of course, is because of the spoked wheels. It has spoked wheels, and yet it has a full-size contactor. So like I said, this is a transition model, about 1946, which would mean this is 73 years old. So as you see, it doesn't look bad at all. In more than acceptable condition, absolutely dirt cheap, and it just reinforces everything I say. First, don't overlook the junk. Secondly, don't be afraid to make an offer. Now, this guy had this on there for 7 days, and no one bid on it. And so as soon as the auction ended, I contacted him and just said, look, if you want to sell it, I'll buy it right now for 10 bucks. And he put it back on with a make offer. I made the $10 offer, he accepted, and here it is. So it's a really, really inexpensive way to get your hands on a 999. And that's one thing I always stress about this is you don't have to spend a lot of money to get into running model trains. You can do it on an absolute shoestring, doing stuff just like this. You know, stuff that nobody else wanted. No one bid on this. And it was a full 7-day auction with no bids at all. Of course, the starting bid was like 20 bucks, if I remember right. And like I said, when this thing ended, I just contacted him and said, look, if you want to sell it, I'll buy it right now, 10 bucks. And he accepted. So I'm more than happy with it. It runs good. Like I said, the only thing I have really left to do is I've got to replace the bottom brush. I put a fairly decent brush in the top. It was missing completely. Why, I have no idea. It had to be removed. It didn't just wear away, and it didn't fall out. So it was definitely missing. Anyway, like I said, the bottom brush is frightfully short. It's less than 1/4 of an inch long. And it's really surprising that it's running as well as it does with that brush in there. So I will pull that bottom brush out, and that's really all I have to do to it. It's going to, once this oil penetrates that paint, it's going to be more than acceptable looking considering its age. And it's running just absolutely splendidly. There's no problem with it at all. E-unit works forward and reverse, as you see. This runs really, really well. Really pleased with it. So anyway, 1946 Transition Marx 999, 10 bucks. Really difficult to beat that. So I just wanted to do a quick follow-up video. So as always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, BENZTRAINZ@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.